So you've gone into talking about what the overall experience during the trial was. Can you also describe in a little more detail that experience and also your experience after the trial?
Yeah, sure. So, for me, I was being monitored pretty closely, given that I was in the phase 1 aspect of the trial. And again, I really just wanted to make sure that I was participating in a way that was going to help other people and help other patients, and really just be the best data point I could be, I guess. And so, knowing I went through some toxic side effects, just helped informed how the principal investigators and the drug trial was going to be assessed for phase 2. So at the time, they decided to stop the infusions. But as you know, with immunotherapy, once it kicks your immune system into gear, it's not necessarily that you need more infusions. So I was thinking that it's so much like another drug where you just have to keep getting the drug to have a cumulative effect, but immunotherapy doesn't really work that way. So for me, I only needed, I think, 2 or 3 infusions initially, and then it was enough to kick my immune system to work. And fortunately, I was a complete responder within a short period of time. So after that, it was really just a matter of just monitoring and managing any potential side effects that I had, just following the trial, and then just really getting back to my old self.
Sounds like you had an unusual side effect with some neurologic toxicity. How long
Yes.
could you describe that experience and then how long it took for those side effects to resolve?
Yeah, sure. I had really just an excruciating headache. I guess most people might describe it as like a migraine. Um, I was nauseous, light and sound hurt, anything bright or even just any type of noises. And I thought I was just really stressed out. But I happened to go in for an infusion that day. And this was after 3 days of having a headache where I recognized that Tylenol wasn't working, Advil wasn't working. And so immediately they made the decision to admit me for 4 days. And I underwent some MRIs and some CTs and a lumbar puncture just to really gain a sense of what was going on in my body. And I was really fortunate for that. So to my knowledge, they were really kind of gaining a sense of what protocol they could develop for people that are having this side effect. At the time, there were very few people that had that side effect on immunotherapy in general, let alone the trial that I was on. So, I mean, you're watched pretty heavily in medical care, and I felt really well taken care of during that time. And then I was discharged once we were sure that we could manage my symptoms. And I left there feeling pretty fine. I didn't have a headache or any type of nausea or anything like that when I left. They treated it with a course of prednisone, and at the time just some anti-nausea and pain medication, and then eventually it was just the prednisone. So then I remained on that for a few months, and then I think it was about maybe September is when we learned that I was a complete responder, and was just trying to get everything back to normal at that point, or whatever normal is at that point.
So any regrets, and given the chance, or if you were in that situation again, would you do it again?
Absolutely. You know, seeing the drugs that I was on, the combo, get FDA approved last year was one of the best experiences of my life. I wasn't even sure at the time that I was going to be alive to see these drugs get approved. I mean, that's really the end goal that you want, right? As a patient, you want other patients to have the opportunity to have more treatments, have more options available to them. And that was ultimately my dream and my goal when I started phase 1. I had no idea that I'd even be able to see the day where it got FDA approved. And I remember seeing that come through. It was a late Friday night. And I text Dr. Hussein Taubi, who was the principal investigator on the trial at the time. And I said, is it true that this really get approved? He's like, yes, it's true. He's like, thank you for being an OG patient. And so it was just really, really something else to be able to see that and hear more people now being on the approved drug that is available. And it was just such a victory, I think, for patients and for folks who do research in melanoma. And it's something that I would do again. In fact, I went back and I've done another trial in 2018 because my melanoma did recur then. And so I'm all about the clinical trials. I think more options are always a good thing for other people.